Hey y'all, welcome back to Books and Boarding Passes. If you're new here, my name is Taylor and today I'm going to be doing the Walt Disney World tag. Super cute today. Now I saw quite a few different versions of this tag, so I just grabbed questions from like a couple different people that I really liked. I'll link their channels down below in the specific video. That's of course gonna be the Tim Tracker Ultimate, and then New Complex. I actually found her while looking for this tag, and then Mad's Hope. So I just they had some different questions, so I just added them together and then added a couple of my own. So let's go. First time you went to Disney World. Okay, so I'm glad this is the first question because I actually did not go to Disney World until 2018, December 2018. And so I am a Disney virgin practically. Didn't really watch Disney growing up. So I'm very new to the Disney World, pun not intended. My favorite park is Epcot because I'm at Disney for the food. Okay, and that's where the best food is at. Park-wise is Epcot. Fight me if you want to, like on site, because it's Epcot. Plus, I love everything that's like in the land and sea. We'll get into all that later, but Epcot for sure. It's Epcot, then Animal Kingdom, then Magic Kingdom, then Hollywood Studios. Controversial, don't care. It is what it is. Favorite resort. Okay, I've only stayed in 2 resorts. I've stayed at Pop Century and Coronado Springs. Wasn't a fan of Coronado Springs, but they were in the middle of building that tower that they have now. So I've heard that that's great for getting like deluxe resort amenities for moderate prices, but there was a lot of construction going on while we were there. And then we stayed at Pop, which I think is the best value resort. Plus now it has a Skyliner. But my dream is to stay at Polly in the bungalows one day. So favorite snack. Okay, so if we're going by what's technically like a snack credit on the dining plan, it'd have to be the chili cheese fries from Casey's Corner. That's in Magic Kingdom. But hear me out. If we're going by my rules, and since this is my channel, that's all that matters. By the way, don't look at my nails. I know you're gonna look, but still, I'm sorry. We're in quarantine, people. It would have to be the sweet and spicy chicken waffle sandwich from Sleepy Hollow because that's literally just like snacks. And so it technically isn't a snack credit. I wish it was because it's like $10.50. But I dream of that sandwich, bro. Oh my God. Favorite souvenir, honestly, would have to be any coffee cup. Point blank, period. But coffee cups are kind of like my thing. That's what I collect. So that's going to be always my favorite. Favorite drink. I'm adding this one in here because we're about adults at Disney. Childless millennials. You know, that's what we're about here. My favorite drink would have to be the spiky pineapple. This you can find, I think, only at the Polynesian. It's at that Trader Sam's like Tiki Terrace. And let's be real. It's literally Dole Whip and rum. At me. Like, do I need to say more? Like, what could be better? Okay, so favorite show. Here's where it gets tricky. Technically, there's the next question is favorite fireworks show. So Rivers of Light doesn't have fireworks because of there being animals. So that technically, I guess, would be a show. So that would be my favorite. But if you can't count that as a show, I would have to say either Lion King or I think it's called It's Tough to Be a Bug or Bug's Life or whatever. Either way, the best shows are at Animal Kingdom. Favorite fireworks? Okay, I love fireworks to the point that I really don't even pay attention to like the show itself. But favorite fireworks are Happily Ever After just because there's more fireworks. They're bigger. Love it. Live it. The best. Favorite pavilion in Epcot? Okay, we're just talking about general pavilions. Japan. And I'm just going to say this because I think just with the shops and the restaurants and stuff. I just think that they have the most variety. I don't necessarily care for a lot of like the European pavilions. Just saying. But if it was solely based off food, Mexico, 1000%. Magic band color. Okay, so let me grab these. First year that I went, I had a just plain old blue band. And then last year when I went, my best friend Brantley got me this really pretty, oh, I'm gonna get to do the YouTuber thing. Can you see this? Pocahontas band. It's like a creamy kind of color. I love it. And I know some of you may be wondering, like, weird, most magic bands have like the black grayish, you know, ends on them. Unless you tear them off because you're a child. And yes, I have a child-sized wrist. Favorite memory. Okay, this is so easy. So last year when we went, so we've gone in December twice. The first year that we went was actually like right after Christmas and in between New Year's. So the first fireworks show I saw was whatever the fireworks show was before Happily Ever After. So it was like the last showing of that fireworks show. Then it was like the Christmas fireworks show and the New Year's fireworks show, like all together. So it was tons of fireworks. That would be my second favorite memory. But when we went again in 2019 in early December, so it's still Christmas, I just remember like the fireworks show was ending, so like the big just like finale, we were running to Tomorrowland so we could get to Space Mountain. And I have a short little clip of it. I mean, it's so short. But like we're just having so much fun. There's fireworks going off in the background. We're running through Tomorrowland. And that is my favorite little short moment of memory from Disney World. Woo! Okay, now we're going to get to the last little part, which these are all questions that I'll answer for like each individual park. And so I'm just going to do them by park. So I feel like that'll be easier. The questions are favorite land, favorite table service restaurant, favorite favorite quick service restaurant, top 3 favorite rides, and then what ride you wouldn't mind getting stuck on, and then what ride you would be like most scared of to get stuck on. So I'm gonna start with Hollywood Studios. Okay, I have my notes like down here just in case you're like, what does she keep looking at? Okay, my favorite land in Hollywood Studios would have to be Galaxy's Edge, which is interesting because I actually have not watched any of the Star Wars movies. But listen, hold on before you attack me, okay? I just haven't got around to it. But that land is literally so immersive. Like, as somebody that didn't even know what the hell was going on, I thought it was so stinking cool. I think it's probably the most immersive land that Disney has. I did a lot of research on it up to its opening because I was just so interested and so into Disney and so new to it. Like, they don't even have like normal signage or anything. It's like very much like the second you go into Galaxy's Edge, it's like you're here. Like, you're no longer in Disney World. So that's really, really cool in my opinion. Favorite table service at Hollywood Studios would have to be Sci-Fi Diner. I don't think that this is everybody's favorite, but I've only eaten table service there, but I really, really liked it. I know everybody else's favorite's probably Brown Derby. I haven't got a chance to eat there, but it'll probably still be Sci-Fi Diner. Favorite, like, quick service, and this isn't even technically a quick service, it's really a bar, is Oga's Cantina. I like it for the same reason I like Galaxy's Edge in general. The prices for the drinks are stupid high, but it's all about the experience. So, you know, whatever. Okay, my top 3 rides at Hollywood Studios would be number 3, Millennium Falcon, whatever. It really made me sick. And since I'm not a Star Wars fan, like, a lot of it was lost upon me, but whatever, it was still really cool. Second would have to be the Rock and Roller Coaster. It would be number 1 if it was longer, but it's so short. But it's still really cool. And the one time I rode it, there was like a I almost said kerfuffle. What the fuck is a kerfuffle? There was like something going on in line where like there was this huge group of people that like, you definitely knew that English wasn't their first language. I think they were like Russian, Scandinavian, something. That's what like it sounded like to me. And I don't know what the deal was, or they just didn't understand how it worked, which if they didn't speak English, that would make sense. But like they were cutting in front of people and then like didn't understand why people were getting mad. And then by the end of it, like half of the group like got kicked off, like before they could even get on the ride. And so then that was all kind of annoying. Then we got on the ride and it was over so quick. So that's why it's at second. My number one choice obviously is Tower of Terror, which is surprising because the thing I hate most in life is like the feeling of dropping. But this ride was like right at the cusp of it being too much without. Like it was just enough to be like thrilling and scary, but not too much. So I was like, hell no, I'll never do that again. So that's my favorite ride. A ride that I wouldn't care to get stuck on at Hollywood Studios would probably be Rock and Roller Coaster, just because you would just get to sit there. If you were like actually stuck, I don't think that would be that big of a deal. Good music going, whatever. Tower of Terror would, I feel like, not be fun to get stuck on, because I would feel like the whole time like, is it really stuck or is it just going to drop at any moment? And that would probably make me have an anxiety attack. Okay, then let's move on to Animal Kingdom. Okay, so my favorite land in Animal Kingdom is Pandora. Shocker. Look at these babies. These are my favorite ears. I got my little Banshee shirt on, which I made myself. It's for sale on my Etsy. You can check it out down in the description. And it says Pandora on the back in holographic. You know? Go check it out. Links in the bio. Whatever. Anyways, Pandora. That's easy. Favorite table service. I've actually never eaten at table service at Animal Kingdom, so I can't answer this, but I have eaten at Yak and Yeti twice. Not the table service, but the quick service like window, and let me tell you, that is my favorite. But go watch my Disney World food review. Interesting story that I have about Yak and Yeti. But I still do, the food's good, but go check that out. I'll link it down in the description. Okay, favorite rides at Animal Kingdom. Obviously, I'll go backwards like I did with Hollywood Studios. Number 3 is the Safari. And the reason it's number 3 is because, one, you never know like what animals are going to be out, which I think is great because that means that it's less staged, which I think that the less all those animals are like cooped up and like, it's not a show, you know. They should be living their life and you observing. So that's why it's number 3, because that could be hit or miss. It's been great every time I've done it, but still. Number 2 is Expedition Everest. I actually only rode that last time I went. The first time I went, we did not get to ride it, but I rode it multiple times last year. One time during after hours, so it was a walk-on, and me and Brantley got to be in the front. Immaculate. And then number 1 would have to be Flight of Passage. Duh. You know, I do think over time that my 1 and 2 picks will switch. Don't at me. I'm just saying. The first time I rode Flight of Passage, I cried at the end of it because I just thought to myself, that is the closest I'll ever be to living in a fantasy world, is that ride. And so I cried. It is what it is. Still my favorite. Okay, so my fave to get stuck on, if I had to get stuck on a ride, would probably be Flight of Passage. Just because obviously that's like an indoor ride, not a big deal. I don't see how you would actually get stuck unless you got stuck in one of those seats, but like that's not a big deal. I think you would get motion sickness if the ride kept going, but you could just take your glasses off and shut your eyes, so that wouldn't be a big deal. Now the worst ride to get stuck on, I think, would be Cali River Rapids. I hate water. I hate water rides, and that would be absolutely the worst thing. All right, let's move on to Epcot. My favorite like land in Epcot, I guess, would be the World Showcase. And I think that's for obvious reasons. That's where all the food is. That's where all the beverages are. Like, you know what I mean? Okay, my favorite table service at Epcot is Via Napoli, because I am obsessed with Neapolitan pizza. And then my favorite quick service would have to be Cantina in Mexico. They have great tacos, and their margaritas are from the tequila bar right across the way, and so they're really good too. Favorite rides at Epcot in reverse order. Number 3 would have to be Living with the Land. I know that's probably like, what in the world? But like, I loved learning about all that. I thought that was so stinking cool. And I didn't get to do it last year, but I did the first year. Second would be Soarin'. It's a classic. Didn't do it the first time, but did it the second time that I went. Loved it. Loved the smell. Thought it was great. And once I learned some history behind all the different places that you view in Soarin', it just made it that much better. And then of course my favorite ride at Epcot is Mission Space. I've done both versions. There's like a toned down version and then a more intense version. I've done both. The first time I rode it, I cried because when I was like really little, like I'm talking about like first grade, even before I went to school, I really thought I was going to be an astronaut when I grew up. And it was just like, oh my god, I finally got to be an astronaut. It was really emotional. I do think that Mission Space would be the worst ride to get stuck on though, because it's such close quarters that would suck if the ride was like off. But if it was on and like those G-forces, I would pass out, because I almost pass out every time I ride it anyway. So, and then Soarin' would be pretty cool to get stuck on because you could just like hang there and like chill out. Like that wouldn't be a big deal. So I think that would be the best one. Plus it smells good in there. All right, last but of course not least is Magic Kingdom. Favorite land in Magic Kingdom is Tomorrowland. Fight me. Like, that's my jam. I love that. That's just my vibe. Like, Tomorrowland is my vibe. And it's so close to Main Street that it's like, you don't even have to walk that far to get there. I don't have a favorite table service for Magic Kingdom. And that's because the only table service I've ever eaten there was breakfast at Be Our Guest. And go check out my review from Disney World. I'll link it down below and you'll see why. So I don't even have a favorite. But my favorite quick service obviously is Sleepy Hollow. It's right close to the castle, and that's where you can get those chicken waffle sandwiches and like funnel cakes and a whole bunch of other stuff. That is my fave. Perfection. Favorite rides at Magic Kingdom in reverse order would have to be number 3, Jungle Cruise. I'm all here for the laughs, you know? Like, I love that. And so I'm here for it. But a couple months ago, like one of the boats sank. And you know, it has the cover over it. And like I said, I'm scared of water. And when I first moved to Arkansas, like, and I'm talking about like the first month that I moved here when I was a kid, like 20 people died on a duck boat. And so like, those little Jungle Cruise boats remind me of a duck boat, and I'm always like, no. Second is Haunted Mansion, because I'm all for the spooky vibes. I'm all for like the dark, like, ooh, I'm into that. So that's my second favorite ride. And then my first favorite ride is Space Mountain, but I'm spoiled on Space Mountain, and here's why. The first time I ever rode it, I was in the front, like very front seat. And so every time I've ridden it since then and I'm not in the front, I'm like, oh, this isn't as cool when you're not in the front. Because when you're in the front, like you can't see, there's like, there's nothing in front of you. It's just pitch black. Like, it's awesome. So that's why it's my number 1. I do think the best ride to get stuck on would be Buzz Lightyear. That's in Tomorrowland. And it's actually the only ride I've ever been stuck on. And the reason that I think it's the best is because it wasn't completely shut off, like we weren't going anymore, but like you could still use the little guns and stuff, so you could still play. So I think that's like a really good ride to get stuck on. The worst ride for me to get stuck on would be Pirates. Once again, I'm scared of water. And the one time that I've ever ridden Pirates of the Caribbean, it was me, my husband, my best friend, and her husband, Colby, and he's a large gentleman. And there was also another large gentleman sitting like on the same side of the boat. And so like it started like taking on water a little bit. And the only thing I hate worse than water is like the thought of like mechanics in water. And that's pretty much what that entire ride is. And it's all dark. And like if I got stuck on that, I would freak out. So that would not work at all. That is the Walt Disney World tag. I'll leave all the questions down in the description, along with my links to my social media like Twitter, Goodreads, Instagram, all that fun stuff. I'll also leave a link to my shirt You can find on my Etsy. And then also these ears, if they are still available. If not, I'll leave a link to the store so you can look at all the rest of the great stuff. I've bought multiple ears from her and quality, man, love it. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Give it a thumbs down if you didn't. Express yourself. That's what we're here for. And that's it for today, guys. Don't forget to do what you dig. Bye.